Have you launched yet? How did it go? Hey there, Enterprisers, what's good? It's Jason Lago here again, and in this video I want to talk to you about how you can see all your launches do well. That's right, how to see all of your launches do well. It's something that we'd all like to see, isn't it? Launches, no matter how you want to call it, no matter what industry you're in, or actually what part of life, launching is a very essential part of it, right? Now, as it pertains to business, specifically internet marketing and the online business, launching plays a vital role in what we do. Okay, launching is any time that is what it sounds like. It's anytime you launch something. We're always launching something new. We're launching a new product, we're launching a new initiative, we're launching a new campaign, we're trying something, we're putting something out into the marketplace, right? But you don't have to be in business to launch. The fact of the matter is, anyone at the turn of the year is launching a new lifestyle of some sort, a new initiative or new diet plan, right? They're called New Year's resolutions. And so I think that this message definitely transcends more than just business, but let's keep it business for now. Anytime you want to launch something, it's very, very true that one of the things that you're always going to be concerned about is how well it's going to do, because there's a myriad of things that can go wrong, and none of these are mistaken, right? These are valid concerns that you should have. Now, very interestingly enough, at the time that I'm recording this video, I actually had something happen to me most recently that really inspired me to put this on for you, and it's ever so real in my mind. At the time of this video, I just launched my free 5-day challenge, and the fact of the matter is I'm really excited about it, and it seems to be going well so far, and I will be having more of these in the future. So if you'd like to get your hands on that and join in on the next one, please do. Just check out sixfiguresprintchallenge.com. I'll put a link in the description below. And there's a lot that goes into launching a challenge, right? Anyone can launch a product with enough time to promote it and say, I got a product that's going to be sold. It's a little bit different though when you're talking about a challenge, because now you're rounding up people to come together, and you're it's kind of like herding sheep. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just mean that there's a lot going on with regards to getting everyone to show up at all the sessions, to bring them together. And interestingly enough, when I threw on this challenge, it's something that I put together in a very, very short amount of time because I said I would, right? I didn't have the time to put it together. I've always wanted to. I've had pressure from my peers and mentors and a lot of friends who wanted me to put one on. And it's the end of the year. I've got a lot going on. I didn't want to, but I decided to go ahead and give in and do it anyways, right? Not do it within a month's notice, not do it within 3 months' notice. I didn't have much time at all buffer-wise. Usually you have a few months when you want to launch something. I did this in basically a week and a half and said, okay, I put it out there. Let's do it. So I put my notice on social media and I let everyone know that I was going to do it. So now I'm accountable, and I pretty much rushed everything that I could to make this happen as quickly as I could. And of course, I didn't want to sacrifice any quality. So I put a lot of work into it. I had a lot of sleepless nights, and I put this thing together. And what happened during the course of its initial launch was nothing short of interesting, all right? So that's the inspiration of why we're talking about what we're talking about today, which is how to see your launches do well. I'm going to give you 3 simple points, 3 simple practical steps and reminders that if you put this in your mind and are free to act on it, remember to act on it as these things come about, then you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, but it'll definitely be a way to get you through the process, and again, to make sure that your launches do well, even if they're imperfect. Let's jump right in. Number 1 is plan for the best. Plan for the best, right? You want to put planning, you want to put effort into making sure that your launch is successful. You want to give yourself the best shot, okay? And as a result, you have to plan and be strategic in how you want to launch it, all right? The audience that you're focusing on and everything in between, all right? It's no different than a proper launch of a product that you want to sell, or a service that you want to sell, a big offering, right? You have to put some time and planning into it. Now, as it pertains to my particular situation, I didn't have a whole lot of time, but that doesn't mean that I didn't put time into it. I put a lot of time. Again, I had a couple sleepless nights just because I wanted to make sure my slides were right, my funnel worked, and I had everything dialed in as best that I could. So you want to plan for the best. Don't treat it like the way a lot of marketers treat selling stuff, right? They kind of just throw things to the wall and trying to see what sticks, right? A lot of the times they'll even say, I'm just here to try this out to see if it works. That's the wrong approach. Make it work. Be strategic. Have some planning about you, and put some planning and thought process and energy into it to give yourself the best shot. What is it that's going to make it work, right? What is it that's going to make it work, especially if you're in a time crunch? Consider those things, move forward, plan for the best, and I promise you'll be better for it. Number 2, prepare for the worst, okay? Prepare for the worst. Now, I'm telling you that because it's going to happen. Something is going to happen. There's no such thing as a perfect launch, and I happen to know some people who are great at launching, but some of the biggest and the best and the brightest in any industry that you look up to in business, they're going to tell you there's nothing like a perfect launch. There's no such thing. Something is going to go wrong, whether it's technology happening, a switch that didn't get hit, a cord that didn't get connected, a person who wasn't in the loop on a certain project and drops the ball. Something is likely going to go wrong, and if it doesn't, then I congratulate you, but that's the exception and not the rule. So as it pertains to my particular story, something definitely did go wrong. We had a lot of hype built up for this in a short amount of time, and thankfully, as we were about to launch just the other day, a lot of people were coming in, and there's a good high energy. There was a lot of good engagement going on in the comments and everything else. And as I finally got to the place where I completed my introduction and was going to start transitioning into the presentation, I remember switching from speaker mode into presentation mode, only to find that everything stopped and froze, and it was terrible. All right, there was this big stall, and I couldn't even begin to show people my slides, right? And so then you had that awkward silence where people are wondering what's going on. And then I tried my best to stall. I was telling dad jokes at one point just to keep people going, right? And so for a lot of people, that's definitely frustrating and flustering, right? Now for me, I'm generally not one to give in to negativity like that. I'm generally not one to become super upset and lose my cool. But if we're being honest, I'm a human being, so I definitely didn't like the fact that was happening at that particular time. And as a speaker, right, as someone who is presenting, one of the biggest concerns that you always have is that if something happens like this and you have to tell people to log out and back in and to restart, and there's a big gap and there's a big stop in your flow of presentation, what you fear is losing attention. What you fear is losing a lot of audience, which is exactly what happens. A lot of people are lazy, or at least unwilling to log out and back in. Right? If there's nothing going on, they're very easily distracted. The attention goes elsewhere, and it's really hard to blame them. Okay, and so that is definitely what happens. So you prepare for the worst. It's going to happen. Just remember to keep a positive mind about it. Okay, I'm not telling you to welcome bad things into your mind. I'm just simply telling you, look, it's not perfect. Something's going to go wrong, and when it does, you're prepared for it. You know it's coming. You know it's happening. You have contingencies in place, and most importantly, you don't allow it to affect you right up here. Number 3. Push through the rest. Okay, push through the rest, right? That's exactly what you have to do, is just find a way to push through, okay? In my situation yesterday, that is exactly what happened, okay? I did not want for people to see me getting super frustrated. I didn't want them to see that. So as much as I was stalling and talking to them, I just made sure that I didn't display any anger or negativity. That being said, however, I know that time is money and time is valuable. So the more that things were in dry no man's land, and I couldn't show them my slides, and I couldn't, we're talking about several people showing up, I didn't want that to happen. And so I very carefully asked and very politely asked everyone to log back out and back in, right? Now, a lot of you might think that that's a simple thing, but when you have a huge launch, a huge, amount of people come together, and with all that is available on the internet to take their attention away, you're placing a big bet. Thankfully, though, we did get through it, okay? I logged out and back in. And interestingly enough, I even did that wrong. Okay, I actually logged out of the failed call without ending the broadcast. And so I logged back in, and the broadcast was still going. All right, it was still streaming live, nothing, no slides, no camera of me, just absolutely nothing, right? And I told the people to do the same thing, all right? They didn't even do that though. They didn't have to, all right? We just continued to push through. I logged out and back in, went to end the broadcast, and by some miracle, what would have it, all of a sudden everything started working fine again, right? And I've consulted with tech people on what happened, and no one can give me an answer, right? It's just one of those things, right? But you have to push through is the lesson, right? Just go ahead and push through and roll with it, right? This is where it makes sense to kind of train yourself on how to improvise and how to think on your feet and how to, learn the art of conflict resolution so that you can calm people down and more importantly, calm yourself down. But understand also that you can't push through. This doesn't happen. These skill sets don't happen if you don't plan for the best and prepare for the worst. Now imagine if I didn't prepare for the worst. Imagine if I didn't think that something like this could happen, all right, and then it did, all right? Then I'd be completely flustered. Then I'd be frustrated, okay? But when stuff goes down and stuff happens and the tech gremlins get at you, right, or the certain people don't show up, it is absolutely okay, all right? Just make sure that you push through as best you can with a smile on your face. And wouldn't you know that even though I've been a part of a lot of challenges, and I'm a little bit biased because this was mine, I dare say that it was the greatest launch I've ever been a part of. It was the most engaging, most fun, not only because it's mine, but I got to tell you, everybody stuck around. Every single person stuck around and went to the end, and several people, I didn't even get to the big pitch yet. A lot of people bought the upgrade, came to the VIP sessions. There was a lot of good engagement and comments and just a lot of love going on. And I got to tell you, from a presenter standpoint, I couldn't be more happy, right? So even if I don't end up selling anything else, right, I'll be very happy with how it turned out, all right? I put together an event, people are showing up, they're getting value, they're enjoying themselves, and they stick around. So there you have it, my friends. These are 3 very practical steps on how to see all your launches do well. On top of that, I hope you enjoy the story time. It's a very real story, and I thought it was very appropriate. So again, I thought it was helpful. Now listen, if you hadn't had a chance yet to download my free book, The Digital Freedom Shortcut, the link is also in the description below. Make sure you check it out. It's my free gift to you just for hanging out and being a part of what's going on here. And then if what I told you about this, the 6-figure challenge, the 6-figure sprint 5-day challenge that I put on, it's free, and it shows you exactly what you need to do to build your proper foundation to go ahead and go out and crush it and sprint your way to the 6-figure mark, regardless of what industry you're in. This is not a recruitment into anything that I do. I believe I can help anyone in any business in any industry really attain what they need to and get clarity on the correct approach in order to hit the 6-figure mark. This is the challenge for you. I'll be running these regularly, so make sure you check that out. Again, 6figuresprintchallenge.com in the links below. And lastly, but most importantly, you know what to do. Give me likes, comments, but subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe for you. This is Jason Lago with Always Enterprise. I'll see you next time. Take care.